Hi everyone, my name's Steve and we're on the way to Birmingham to film a video to introduce a model on leadership. So I hope you find it interesting and useful, and thank you for watching. We're at a critical point where the only rational choice is to be adopting a more sustainable approach to the way we live our lives and the way we run our businesses. We also need to make sure that the leadership we adopt and follow is also leading us towards a sustainable future. So this video is the start of a proposal to offer an open source model for sustainable leadership in the hope that it's shared and used as widely as possible. Most people have heard of Jenga and probably played it. It's the game where you stack wooden bricks on top of each other and keep removing pieces carefully and balancing them gingerly on top of the pile. And now I want to present Jenga as an analogy of the problem with the current practice and approach we take to leadership. Here's some key points about Jenga. First of all, it's easy to measure progress. If you successfully stack a brick on top of the pile, it increases the height by 1 unit. So well done. But this measured progress is only achieved by removing a block from lower down in the same structure, thereby weakening the overall tower. Now that could turn into an issue. Whilst we can measure the increase in height of the tower very easily, we don't measure the increasing instability of it, though we instinctively know when it's in danger of falling over. Nobody wins at Jenga. When somebody loses and topples the tower, that's when we all stop playing. So Jenga models a bad leadership system. If we reward people for simply achieving one increment, regardless of the impact that has on the wider system, then we're inevitably creating an unstable structure. And if we construct our organisations to reward that blinkered achievement of progress, whatever form it takes, it won't sustain. If we reward people for selling the most widgets without recognising that the customers hated the selling process and won't come back, then we're setting the roots for failure when we try and build on those sales. If we reward people for achieving a reduced budget without recognising that customer services will create high cost repairs next year, then that too is a flawed system. And if we continue to build growth through the flagrant use of energy and non-renewable fuel, then the carbon impact will be the consequence that negates our overall chance to be sustainable. So leaders have to operate and be responsible for a system that places sustainable thinking at the heart of what they lead. And we need to follow leaders that we can recognise are operating in an authentic, genuine way. We need to scrutinise what leaders stand for and test the sustainability of that leader's offer. So 3 years ago I published a book containing a leadership model, and I call that model Intuitive Leadership. And this diagram shows its original format. And since applying that thinking to sustainable leadership, the model has strengthened and become more relevant as an approach. And here's why. The central premise of the model is the focus on the leader's purpose. And this aligns with a much established theory that a leader's purpose will present the vision or the goal towards which followers will subscribe and feel it's worth their efforts to help achieve. And it's reasonable to accept that the more relevant, personal and important the purpose, the more engaged the person will be in working towards it. And also the more empowered and deliberate in their autonomous and collective efforts towards it. So I've recently adapted the model and I'll be writing a second edition soon. Now it includes a double inner core. Now you can see the central core is sustainable purpose and the outer core is complementary purpose. Complementary can be any corporate, organisational, political or structural goal, but it's got to be consistent with that sustainable core. The sustainable core purpose, that could be one of a range of things: carbon efficiency, community development, peace, renewable technology, education, etc. These are important because these are the blocks we've been removing out of our Jenga set for the last 50 years. In the same way that Jenga makes upward progress by creating the weaknesses that'll force its ultimate fall, we can do the same. It's time time to refocus our reward and priority system. It's not all about getting a higher tower, it's about stabilising the spaces we've left open. Instead of blindly judging success on short-term profit, we need to be explicit about the sustainable success of, say, strengthening a community or enabling renewable technology to deliver a better, even if less profitable solution. We can only do this with a collective refocus on priorities and rewarding explicitly, loudly and gratefully all businesses, employees, volunteers and people who contribute to this sustainable leadership. I originally called the leadership model intuitive leadership to describe the importance of a broader focus of leadership attention. I called the book How the River Flows, and you can get that book in the link I'll leave in the description. And the synergy of those terms to describe the sustainable future challenges is interesting for me to reflect on. The intuitive leadership model is an offer to further this drive for change. I'll write more about it and I'll create leadership materials that help explore the approach to strengthen those people and organisations that want to help create a sustainable future. I'm happy if you think it's worth using too. Thank you for listening.